You smell what The Rock is cooking.
Acknowledge me.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
We are bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'll fight anybody. Who do you want? Just let me fight him.
Let me tell you something, Jim Ross.
Bigger power, yeah.
We got it for you.
We are the best of the best.
Woo! Wheeling dealing. Smart marks.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to another edition of Talk 'em in the Building podcast, where we focus on the promo here with my co-hosts, Adrian and Greg. And we're coming at you with a special edition, a look at this promo everybody's talking about right now. This is the hottest promo this week. I mean, flabbergasted, amazed, astounded. What a promo. The New Day promo with Big E coming back to unite his brothers, Kofi and Xavier Woods. What an amazing night. What a capper to what we didn't know what was going to happen there. Adrian and Greg, kind of just very briefly, what was kind of the immediate thoughts that you were thinking as you're experiencing this promo? And Greg, I'm going to come at you first. We're not going to get too much into it, but just the immediate reactions right now.
Immediate reaction is, man, this thing had everybody captivated. It had me captivated from the moment. It took turns, it took twists, things we didn't know. It just left you guessing, and that's what's so great about pro wrestling. And then, of course, it's supposed to be New Day celebration, so that it started taking me back in the beginning when New Day started and going through all that. I won't tell all that now, but man, it's just it started there, and then fast forwarding into this, it was just like, whoa, I didn't see that turn coming at all.
Man, absolutely, fully agree. And Adrian, we're going from expectation going to that promo to the reality of what we saw. How did you experience this one?
Man, after weeks and weeks of teases of Xavier Woods turning on Kofi and Kofi turning on Xavier Woods, literally no one expected both of those guys joining forces through hate of Big E. Everyone loves Big E. It's crazy. It's insane, man. I love it. Exactly. I love it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to dig in now. We are going to, at this point, if y'all haven't seen the promo, man, do yourselves a favor. Go seek it out. It is a treat. It is gold in the modern era. And hopefully a sign of things to come just for all the performers, all the wrestlers there. We're going to dig in here. And at this point, Big E's in the ring. Big E's been talking from the heart, has given us his backstory. And we're going to pick it up right there because right at this moment is when his compatriots over here, his tag team partners over here, trios partners, are going to have something to say about his coming back.
Until I am medically cleared to return to this ring, I am going to remind the two of you exactly who you are. I'm going to be here to cheer for you, to root for you, to uplift you. I'm going to be here every single week. To serve as your managers. Now, you want to come back? After you watched us fight for months, after you watched us argue to the edge of the cliff and the last thing left to do was jump, now you want to come back? E, You left us. I broke my neck. What do you mean? I've been doing my best.
You left us, E. Yeah, you broke your neck. So what? Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck, and he came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck, and he came back. Edge broke his neck, and he came back.
They didn't even have people here waiting for them. You had two family members who had the light on for you so you'd have something familiar to walk back into. And what'd you do with that, E, huh? Nothing. We didn't change. We didn't evolve at our own deficit for you.
No. E, you mean to tell me that as big as you are, as strong as you are, plus with the fact that you never even had to have surgery on your neck, you mean to tell me that you couldn't have been back here a long time ago if you wanted to?
Coach, I've been meeting with doctors, I've been doing scans, I've been x-rays, MRIs, I've been doing my best to get back. We've heard it all before. You know what happened to me, E? I tore my Achilles tendon off the bone, and I actually had to have surgery. I was back in 9 months for you.
If you really, truly cared about us, you'd have been back here a long time ago. You'd have been by our side, clapping by our side, encouraging us, cheering us on, galvanizing us. But nah, you chose your new life over us. You chose your new projects over us. You chose your new girlfriend over us. You chose your new death job over us.
Matter of fact, E, listen up. Do you even realize the burden that you've become? No matter where we go, every single city, no matter who we meet, they all say the same thing. We miss E. As if we don't miss E. But obviously E doesn't miss us.
Our philosophy since day one, since the jump, has always been about the brotherhood before anything else. The New Day before anything else. We before me. That's what the philosophy's been. But you, broken neck or not, you chose yourself over us.
And matter of fact, E, let's stop teasing all these people. Let's tell them the truth, E. You are never going to be medically clear. And since that's the case, why don't you get the hell out of this ring and get back to your desk where you belong? And we'll call you if we need you.
I'm not going to throw this away like that. I'm not going to let you throw this away like that. Not like that. Come on, man. After a decade of this, I'm not throwing away like this. Come on, man. We can fix this. A decade, man. A family. Come on, man. Woods. Woods. Oh, you too? It's like that. It's over. It's just over. Like that, it's over. It's over.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen such robust display of scumbaggery on the mic than when I saw Big E walk into the ring. Oh, how dare he! Adrian, oh my gosh, I don't think we all stopped smiling the whole time we were watching that promo. I'm just
Beautiful,
looking
man.
at us right now. Oh my gosh, what are you thinking, man?
I I hate using overused wrestling terms that are used amongst the fans base, but that was cinema. That was cinema,
Spaced out.
gentlemen. Yeah, man, that was cinema. Full range of emotions, man. It was paced. It was paced damn near perfectly for me because it goes from you're going into it somber. All of us, I remember, all of us are talking about this is the end of the new day, and we just know it's the end. And they start off the promo, even though the general manager is trying to put over the New Day, the crowd is saying New Day rocks. Clearly, Woods and Kofi have been beefing for a couple weeks or months at this point, and you could clearly tell that they're pretty much it's over with. So what happens? They throw in Big E, big pop, big positive pop, and he cuts his promo talking about how if it wasn't for the New Day, he and Woods would probably have been fired. Kofi would have retired. Like this fired up all three of them. This gave them new life, gave them purpose as a team, as brothers, as a unit. So because of my health issues, I'm not going to be able to wrestle, but I'm going to be your manager. I'm here for y'all. Y'all are my brothers. I'm going to do everything possible. Now, all of us going into this whole thing, everyone can, for the most part, most of us would say Woods is obviously turning heel. We're thinking this, we're all booking this in our head. I know in our private conversations, I said, hey, you want to turn Woods heel, have him turn when they celebrate the 10-year and have him beat up Big E and beat him down. And that'll be heat. That's going to be heat. They damn near did that, but even better. It was even better because you got Woods going in Big E. You got Kofi quiet. So you're still thinking, okay, Kofi's going to be the person that defends Big E. Nope. Kofi adds on to it. And then once he throws in the so what? Like, it's like, oh, we're going past. I mean, we're all in now. It was better. I can argue that it was better that they didn't touch Big E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was that much more jarring. It was that much more emotional. And it was draining for all of us emotionally. That was like, we have this anticipation that, oh my God, both of these guys are about to jump on Big E. We don't know if he's cleared. They didn't touch him. In fact, when he was leaving the ring, their backs, they were facing away from him. So all those years, all that emotion, all that brotherhood, all that love, all that positivity, man, go to your desk job, bro. It's crazy, man. That was that was amazing. I can't say it enough. That was one of my favorite segments of the year.
Yeah.
Hands down.
What a contender too, right? To close the year. Who would have thought we'd get to this at this point of the year, right? Where everybody's talking about, the Cody and Rock and Rollins and Punk now, and this is like an afterthought, right? It was going to be a fun segment. That's all we thought, right? It's going to have a little bookend. We already saw it, like you said. Everybody was already booking Xavier and everything that was going to happen. But Greg, man, how did you kind of come out on the other end thinking about who these characters are after the fact? Because up until now, really, there is no discord amongst the New Day up until recently.
So what's interesting, there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. I wasn't convinced that Woods was going heel. They're so smart. And if you go back and look at their gear through the last several weeks, one would have the bad gear, one would have the good. I'll give an example. They both had Dragon Ball Z stuff on, or Goku stuff, right? One had on, Kofi had on orange, Xavier had on black. couple weeks before that, Xavier had on the White Ranger gear. Kofi had on the Green Ranger gear. So now you flip it. If you go through their weeks, you had them back and forth, back and forth. One had the heel gear, one had the face gear, and they flip it. So there's little teases throughout these weeks.
That could
But
go
what's
either
interesting, everybody thought this is the end of the New Day. And the first thing I thought of afterwards is, I'll be damned, this is the beginning of the New Day.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy crap. I didn't have the reaction a lot of people had. I popped when Woods said, you left us. I popped from the standpoint, I felt him. Now, right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's what I felt. I didn't feel for E. I felt for Woods, because I'm like, my first thought was, I'm not going to lie, when he said, I'm here going to be your manager, I'm like, oh, so he's the savior? And so, and then Woods hit him with that. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, so now you want to step up? Now you want to come be by our side? You've been over here, you know, doing your little desk job, doing your PLE pre-shows and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, come on. Now, when Kofi says, so what about breaking the neck? I was like, oh, damn. I was like, but
hard left, man.
But like they said, but they really played it into, one, you should have been back. But two, you could, because Kofi said it, you could have been by our sides clapping.
Right.
But you weren't. You chose not to. And I kind of look at it from the standpoint of E coming in saying, I can see them playing it this way. E coming in saying, hey, I'm the savior. I'm the New Day. I'm the one bringing us back together. I'm the one that's going to come in out here and, oh, you know what? I've been sitting by the side, but you guys can't handle it. So let me show you what we can do.
Right.
And what did he just do? He brought them together. But he was the one that got ostracized. Because at the end, what do? They both looked at each other and goes, it's just us, yo. It's just us.
Unifying,
like, damn,
right?
dude. It was so
Crazy,
good.
bro.
This is pro wrestling done right. That's all. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
And you know what? I'm going to say this, though. Fully agree with you guys in all these points. But I will say, out of the three, it took me a second to warm up to Kofi. Even after that. Because when he says, you know, his piece and so what, and this indignance, right, at a Big E's kind of plight and his struggle and coming back even to just be a normal walking human being, I don't buy it right away. And I'll tell you why I don't buy it right away. Go back to Big E. Big E was heel at one point. Not a very talkative heel, but he's played that role before. Woods, go back through his catalog, he's been heel, or he's been heelish at least. Kofi, think back to a time when he was heel. It doesnn't exist.
Don't you say that? Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. To not really much of anything, being, you know, having that little beef, the real beef with Orton, because Orton thought he messed up a move or something, right? He messed up the RKO, I think, and then goes into the New Day. And again, he mentions it in the promo. That was kind of it. That was, you know, that was going to make or break whether he was going to have success in WWE beyond, you know, a lower mid-card spot, maybe the occasional Intercontinental US title and whatnot, but nothing beyond that, right? And dare I say, him being world champion is almost secondary. I almost feel like this group elevates him beyond the championship in a lot of ways, because we always talk about being versatile, being able to be inserted in everything. And at this point, the New Day can be the host of WrestleMania to the main event of a WrestleMania. And we wouldn't think twice about it, especially now, right? But it took me a second to warm up to him because I didn't believe him. And I see this, it almost like it felt very rehearsed to me in the beginning until you started warming up. And then I'm like, okay, I'm with you. You're a total scumbag for what you're doing, but I'm with you.
But here's what's interesting. You know, I'm going to play the heel role. But is he a scumbag for what he's doing? Because he said now outside, because he did. There's nothing they said was wrong. He did lead them. He could have been standing outside as a manager. He could have been. You have not seen him do anything with them. Even leading up to this, is he going to show up? Is he not? I'm like, why wouldn't he? He does the freaking pre-show all the time. Why wouldn't he show
there.
up? It's not like he's never around. And I'm like, so that's why I sit back and that's what I love about this. Really, nothing they said was wrong.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, you haven't come back. They're questioning why you haven't come back, but then they kind of question, you could have been by our side. You could have been here clapping with us. You're saying you're going to come do it now. Wood says we've been fighting back and forth all the way to the cliff. The only thing left to do is jump off the cliff, and now you want to come back?
Mm.
You could have been back. So really, it may have been the way it's said or what people didn't like, but there's so much truth in what they did say to where who's the true heel?
Mm.
Yeah.
The best villains, at least in modern, comic book films and
Yeah,
all of that stuff, they
Right.
have their motivations.
they
Where
believe what they're doing.
yeah, exactly.
Well, let's do a little booking here.
Hmm.
We're 6 months down the line, past Mania. Let's say they do something there. Where do you see this ending up? I'm not giving the scene having a conclusion. But where do you see it? From putting my money on it, make them all heel.
Okay.
Don't bring it in, make them all fake, make them all heel. Make them just be hated on for a very different reason than when they started.
Okay. I like that.
I'm okay with that, but I think my first thought is you don't see E for a while.
Mm.
Okay.
For a while. Now I'm going to go way off the deep end booking. Okay? Way off the deep end if they can pull it off.
Mm.
We've already heard that Rock is out of Mania. I don't think they're going to go here, but I'm just going to throw something at you. We have already heard Rock is out of Mania, right? So whatever happens in Mania, boom, 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 boom. Probably not Mania. Let's go past Mania because we got to establish heel New Day. And I
Mhm.
think you're still going to see New Day. You're just going to see them reinvent. He teased it. They're going to reinvent themselves. Woods becomes the one who unseats Cody, with Big E being the one who interferes and costs Cody the match.
Oh wow.
Now I'm going to give you long-term storytelling. Who defeated Woods in amateur wrestling in the high school state championships in Georgia? Cody.
Cody Runnels.
So here is a long story of Woods trying to get back to that. Dude, because right now, that the one thing I would say about Cody's reign, he really hasn't been threatened. There's been nobody who
Right.
sat back and goes. We talked about underdogs before in a different show. There's been nobody. We sat back and he's Owens ain't beating him. AJ's not beating him. It's just not happening. What if? Just what if? Because let's go back to the week before. What did Kofi say to him? You've never won a singles title because you weren't good enough.
Mm.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I
Just
like
throwing it
that.
out there.
Shoot,
He
I
is the
like
only
that.
one
Yeah.
who hasn't won a world championship yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't won any singles.
King of the Ring, I guess, but that's not.
But
a
I mean, no
championship.
belt. No.
Right.
It's true.
Shit, I like that. I like that.
It's hard to think of a different path for me now. I'm like, in an ideal world, of course.
Mm-hmm.
In an ideal world.
But then if Big E is the one who costs whoever, it can be Cody, it could be whoever, costs them that belt, then it gets back to what you all just said. Turn all three of them.
Yeah.
And it was all a long-term story to get a belt for Woods.
Imagine turn them at, well, let's say in the ideal world, everything for me happens at Mania, and then there's like it dovetails from there. But imagine the night after Mania, Big E comes out, just forget it. Forget it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't top that.
But
only thing I would say is possible, maybe not this Rumble, but next year's Rumble. You have Kofi and Xavier, not so much running shop, but pretty much them teaming up after a year of them being heels and them doing their thing. And now they're in the middle of the ring by themselves, just talking trash and all that. And then Big E's music hits. a babyface Biggie comes back. We don't know anything about him being cleared. He gets in the ring and he puts them both out.
That could work too. Yeah.
That's
Naturally
all I
built
got.
in.
Yeah. Although I love Woods beating Cody. That would be awesome, personally.
It's crazy. And then, I mean, good for them for even pivoting, because y'all know that New Day merchandise must be nice. Nice,
Oh,
nice money on
it's
that.
it's gonna blow up bigger. I
Yeah,
truly believe it will.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to when. Let's just think about this as this was supposed to be a celebration for the New Day. So we think about what the New Day was, or
Mm-hmm.
how they became. And so I'm going to ask you guys this question. So Adelita, I'm going to come to you first. When was the first time that you realized New Day's getting over?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, we've talked about this before when we've talked about New Day before, but me, it was all the backstage, all the .com stuff, because we just talk. The IWC has its negative side, but when they get behind you, it's going to come across on screen, and they'll be your biggest cheerleaders. And they were undeniable at that point, because so much of what they've done backstage and those .com pieces was bleeding in to regular matches and promos.
Mm-hmm. In
And
bits
we
and
could all see
pieces.
the talent. We could all see
Mhm.
their natural charisma and the rapport they have with each other, because these are truly friends, right? These are not just coworkers anymore. I mean, these guys were riding, from town to town as well. And to be a fly in the wall in those conversations. But for me, it was that. It was early on. They were in New Day under the current iteration, but it was a lot of that. And later on, even, I mean, think back. WWE made a play at the Young Bucks and Omega, right? This was before AEW was a thing. And who did they do this olive branch with? It was the New Day. Because the
Mm-hmm.
New Day, they had this like kind of like, hey, we're gonna copy your shirt, you're gonna copy our shirt, and they had an interaction at E3, one of the last
Mhm.
E3s there, and the kind of when we modernly think of it, and it was really cool, but super weird, because that's
Mm-hmm.
how over they were. They're like, we trust you guys that you guys are going to do something weird while still doing this pseudo thing with people that we usually Vince wouldn't let you interact with usually. So those are the two instances that come to me that say these guys are over.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Adrian, what about you?
I just remember. I specifically remember going to Monday Night Raws, whether it was in Atlanta or Florida at the time where I lived, and just those three just I mean, you could tell that they were like the oblivious hill. Like they thought they were good guys. They thought they were doing all the positive stuff, but everyone was just throwing it back at them like, boo, get these
Mhm.
guys out of here, but in a fun, playful way. And I was like, man, these guys are actually over.
Mm.
And that was going into, I don't know if I think that was SummerSlam where they wound up winning. And I just remember Kofi doing that backwards hop, which was the most. I don't know why I laughed so hard about how ridiculous it was. That's the reason why they were over with me, because of how ridiculous they were.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they did was just ridiculous. It was like, dude, you shouldn't be doing this on TV. Like
Yeah.
it should be goofy, but it's
Right.
actually getting over with the people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, they were. I'm excited about this new iteration of the New Day because this is a direction that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless. These guys seem a lot more ruthless. They're a little bit more grizzled in the sense where they've
Hmm.
been around. They're a legacy. They're a legacy act at this point.
Yeah.
So now it's not about them out wrestling someone. Now they're going to be dirty, dastardly hills. Now they're gonna cheat to win. Now they may injure someone backstage. Like all of these possibilities are there about this iteration of New Day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm locked in. I love it. I love the possibilities.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
for me, the first time I realized they were as over as they were, not
Mm.
necessarily that they got over with me. I was at a Ring of Honor show in
Hmm.
Atlanta at Norcross.
Ah.
and we're leaving. Right, there's traffic, tons of traffic. So it's this little place. It's not a big place, but it's crap to get out of. And all of a sudden, somebody starts honking their horn, doom, 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 and then another car, and then another car. The whole freaking parking lot, and people are in the parking lot going, "No, they rocks," and these people are honking their horns, and I'm like, "This is crazy." And Randy was with me at the time, and we were both just looking at each other like, "This is wild." I was like,
Mhm.
"Didn't see that coming." And I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
stop, y'all. I mean, it
Mhm.
wasn't like it lasted a minute. It went until pretty much that parking lot until we got out of the parking lot. It was
That's
still going.
hilarious.
And I was
That's
Nice.
like,
hitting a nerve, man.
okay, this is different level. This is the
Yeah,
next level.
yeah.
And people just at that moment, I was like, yeah, they're on to something. Like I had
Mhm.
already knew they were on to something from me, but I
Right.
didn't know about. And this is a whole different crowd. This is a Ring of Honor crowd.
Mhm.
So this is not remotely a WWE crowd, and they were in it. And I was like, oh, if they got this crowd,
Yeah.
oh, they got
They got
everybody.
it. They hooked everybody. They knew exactly the little catchphrases, things that were popular, inside kind of pop culture stuff that quite honestly in somebody else's hands, in another show's hands, would have come out extremely corny.
Hmm
I mean,
Bootios,
beyond
man.
corny. Yeah.
Bootios.
Right. Got
I
that
mean,
Bootios.
over.
think about this. Remember the pancakes?
Yeah.
They had to
Right.
stop because of COVID. That just started because they did a lumberjack match, and they came out
That's right.
dressed as lumberjacks because
That's what
lumberjacks eat pancakes, and all of a sudden they're throwing out
that's
pancakes.
that's what I'm saying. They were doing so much ridiculous stuff.
Hmm.
Just,
Everything, all this ridiculous stuff, they're just throwing against the wall.
mm-hmm,
Unicorns with
Yeah, let's make a
rainbows.
unicorn and
Like is
pink and light
yeah,
blue and yeah,
yeah.
neon
The
green.
the trombone. What was the trombone's
Right.
name? Was it
I had like two names. He went through one and they broke it and he came out with the second
yeah,
one.
like
And he started
something like
painting the
that.
trombone. Yeah.
yeah,
Henrietta, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stuff like
Again,
that.
again that.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but the shit got over.
mm-hmm,
That's a true testament.
And that's going to be a treat, right? That's going to be so cool because we know what they're capable of. We know how creative these guys
Hmm.
are. Now let's give them an edge, right? Let's
mm-hmm.
let's see you guys, which is sometimes going to be harder, right? As a babyface, you get away with a lot more. People are more forgiving of mistakes. Now you get to dig your teeth into something that if they're doing it right. It's going to make so much money. It's going to be just fun to watch, honestly.
100%, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we really want to get out this promo. We've been talking about it, even before the podcast. And if this is your first time listening to Talking in the Building, this is a conversation. We have real, fluid conversations. We enjoy talking about pro wrestling and the pro wrestling promo. And I mean, this is not just one for this year. I mean, I dare say for the last decade. I mean, this is going to be a top 20 for me at this one. It might be recency bias, but it is what it is. So give us a like, give us a listen, a follow. My co-host, this is Greg, this is Adrian, and Adalid. Hit us up next time here on Talking in the Building podcast.